Welcome back, listeners, to the Cosmic Confluence podcast, where we explore the beautiful intersection, the mysterious intersection of spirituality, healing, and personal transformation. I'm your host, Sana, as always, and listeners, today's conversation is one that I have been truly looking forward to. Now we're joined by Tara Mae Temple. She's an author, advocate, and guide whose journey from battling emotional and mental health struggles to finding inner peace is nothing short of inspiring. Through her writing, workshops, and advocacy, Tara empowers women to embrace their true, authentic selves and also navigate life's challenges with wisdom, faith, and practical tools. Now, in this episode, we will be exploring how spirituality can actually serve as a powerful tool or a pathway to healing, especially when we are facing health setbacks and personal crisis. And what I believe is this is so much relevant right now in today's context. And with Tara's unique perspective as a Filipino Canadian woman, writer, and advocate, I'm very sure this conversation will bring both depth and nuance to this particular topic for all of you. So, with that, Tara, welcome to Cosmic Conference, and I am absolutely honored to have you here with us.
Hi, Sana. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm happy to speak with your audience. I have many inspiring messages for you all, so I look forward to chatting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Tara, your personal journey, it has been a tapestry of challenges, then healing and transformation. So, if you can take us back to a pivotal moment, that transformational moment when spirituality not just became a belief system for you, but it became an active tool in your healing journey.
Yes, of course. I have many actually different challenging times that I could speak on, but I will speak on something that happened to me recently, where I injured my back very badly, and the pain was very excruciating. I had to put my life on pause. And realize that I can't do everything and I need to just stop and focus on healing. And at points, the pain got so very excruciating that, doing other things besides, seeking out healthcare and all that wasn't enough to alleviate this. I had to look deep within myself and figure out why is it that I'm experiencing this pain now. And sometimes we have to look a little deeper and see and realize that there could be something that we're holding on to emotionally, that we haven't let go of, that's unhealed within ourselves. And I realized that with myself, and I had to question, okay, what is it that I'm holding on to? So I um, on it and I journaled on it, and I realized that yes, I'm still holding on to something that's unhealed, and it's being transmitted into pain within my body. And it's something that at first thought, why me? It's not a good time. I have a lot on the go. There's a lot of goals and things I need to keep doing, and I'm here to spread the word of inner peace and help people find and cultivate that peace for themselves around the world. Um, and I didn't want to just stop that, but over the last 2 months, I had to stop that, and the lesson in there was that I had to really look to my spirituality and um speak to God pretty much throughout the day to help me cope with what I was dealing with. And I had to really strengthen my faith in God and strengthen my prayers and have trust in that higher power. And some people in their lives, you know they they have a bit of faith, or they believe in whatever God they believe in,
Mhm.
but It's not until you reach a health crisis that you can really cultivate and strengthen that faith. And for me, um, I saw the gift in that because now that I've, turned to God and said my prayers and tried to find um, inner peace in realizing, like this pain is happening for me. Now I'm better able to serve others and teach them how to overcome what pains and what struggles that they're going through. So it was a deeply pivotal moment for me to be able to go through this really very bad chronic pain, and not only overcome it with spirituality, but looking to others and doing my research about finding holistic providers that could help me. So it was a combination of things to overcome this health issue. And I could happily say that there were a lot of lessons there. But if you have faith and call on your angels and ask God or Jesus Christ or Buddha or, divine source or the universe for help, whatever your religion or faith may be, I encourage you to do so because it can help you in so many ways. And much of what can help us is unseen and in this invisible world. But there's strength there.
That is I could say, fortunately or unfortunately, beautiful, empowering journey. Um, I know, it's often difficult. It can be difficult to revisit those moments, but it is this difficulty, that vulnerability, that makes us feel empowered and gives us that wisdom to face the challenges in our lives. And you know what, Tara,
Mhm.
this question comes to my mind as you mentioned that you kind of, when you you know got to know that you are going through this chronic pain, back pain, and there's so much more stored for you in your life. At a very young age, you're going through this. You ask this question that why me? Why me? And I think this is universal. I mean, whenever we are faced with a very serious health issue or any kind of challenge, we often ask ourselves or ask God that why me? Why, what have I done wrong that I'm suffering?
Yes.
Uh,
Mm.
I mean, and since you have a multicultural background, um, did it kind of lead you to lose faith in God, or it kind of got you into that journey of rediscovering spirituality from a very different perspective?
Yes, I really rediscovered and well strengthened my spirituality in the last 5 years. I'd say it's been, I've rediscovered, my faith in God and my trust in what spirituality and faith could do for me, my loved ones, and the people around me in my community. And um it really is a process. It's not only, staying with in isolation, learning, but it's really about reaching out and listening to other people's stories,
Mhm.
reading books, listening to podcasts like yours, Sana, um, and really getting out there and hearing other people's stories help give me inspiration to explore what other avenues and coping tools could work for me whenever life's challenges just throws a setback at you. Could you look at a setback or adversity as a gift, as something that's happening for you and not to you? I know when we're struggling with something, it may not be something that we can see clearly and we think, oh, why is it happening to us? So that is a good point that you make there. But it's really a long journey that unfolds where, you're getting access to all these tools, all this information and content on your journey of life to help you learn the lessons that you need to learn in this moment in history. Um, because God in the universe will give you signs about what it is you need to learn in your life right now. And I encourage you all to be patient because it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight for me. Um, like my spiritual awakening didn't happen till I'd say about 2020. So that was 5 years ago. And it's been a slow unfolding of learning things along the way. But this recent setback that I had with my health and the chronic pain that I experienced was a valuable lesson in itself that when life ebbs and flows, and like I could maybe encounter some sort of illness in the future, now I'll know how to handle that and turn over my suffering to God and my faith. And that's something that I want to be able to teach others. Like raise their light, raise their vibration to know that they're strong enough to handle whatever comes their way.
Beautiful, beautifully said. Sarah, beautifully said.
Thank
Look,
you.
in your book, Harmony Hacks, you talk about practical strategies, the tools which you mentioned for emotional and mental wellness. So how did spirituality inform or shape some of those strategies, particularly when it comes to dealing with health challenges? If you could share one or maybe more than one with all of us.
Oh, sure. Um, so, yes, um, when it comes to challenges, like we're only one person, we're only human, we're going to be imperfect. So there's a variety of tools I use when I hadn't yet discovered my purpose. Um, it took a lot of, journaling, and writing about my thoughts and feelings of, what was I passionate about and what did I want to share with the world. So not only is it important to have this dialogue with yourself, and be open and honest with what you're feeling and what your thoughts are. Um, but offer those things to God or the universe or whatever higher being you believe in. um Ask the question and put that question out there every day, and there's going to be some answer in one form or another. It could be a sign that shows you, that doesn't go away for me. In being a writer and writing my book, which I changed the title now to Life Hacks for Healing and Harmony, was, everywhere I turned, when I posed the question, what is my purpose here on earth and what am I meant to do to serve not only myself but others around me? I thrive by helping others. So I asked that question for every day for many, many months and weeks. And the sign that kept showing up for me in one form or another was, you know, put a self-help book out there with your story of what you've experienced and make that into a tool for others. So as you go through life, if you just ask the question, what lights me up, what gives me energy when I do a certain thing, that will give you meaning about your purpose here on earth. And you need to look out for those signposts and breadcrumbs that show you what you're meant to be doing in this world. And it doesn't happen overnight, but you need to be open and receptive to having that intuition because the universe and God and the God that you believe in is constantly there giving you hints about what's next for you and what you're meant to be doing. So I encourage you to explore that.
Lovely, lovely. That so resonates deeply with me, and I find that beautiful balance between evidence-based approaches and faith-based wisdom. It is so important. It kind of balances or establishes this beautiful balance of science and then faith as well.
Yes, yeah, that's very good point. And like, um, in terms of using different strategies as well, I talk about how it's important to be in an environment where that promotes your healing. So look around you. If your environment is weighing you down in some way, you might need to look at how you can be in a more supportive environment, join a community, um, be in an environment where your friends and family support you. um, there's always endless, countless ways to find support. So there's that piece as well. And then as having compassion for others and yourself, and changing your mindset and perspective can really help you.
True, that's true. And
Mhm.
a bit of a different question, Tara. So many women, especially from minority backgrounds, they often feel that immense pressure to be strong and keep going, even when their health is suffering. Um, how can
Mhm.
spirituality help us reframe strength, vulnerability, and asking for help? Because it can sometimes be so stigmatized. So I would love to know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. And you put a good point out there, Santa, because as women we try to do it all. We try to, we're caretakers naturally, and we try to do everything to help our families and take good care of them, um, while managing a household and juggling a career, um, and doing all these things. And when we face a health setback or we're ill, we still feel the need to take care of those we love around us. So it's very hard to have to pause and you know, let things be as we work on healing ourselves. Um, but if we take a step back and we pray on offering our sufferings to, um, our faith and spirituality, it'll put things into perspective for us and make us realize that, if we don't have our body and our health in mind, body, and spirit, we're not very good to the people around us and in helping them thrive. um, so it's a matter of, putting things into perspective and realizing, it's okay to have some self-care time and some time to be able to heal, while, letting others, help you and support you when, you know, you're not 100% well. And I know a lot of us women, some of us have find it hard to accept help, when needed, because we're so, we care about taking care of other people. But it's a good idea to pause and, accept that support from your family or friends, and know that, once you're better, you'll come out stronger. And it's a matter of having that patience and cultivating that spiritual prayer and time while you're focusing on your healing. So it involves a lot of meditation, and prayer, and a slow, progress towards healing.
Love it. Love that. Once again, it resonates so deeply with me, and I'm very sure it will with many listeners as well. Because sometimes, this evening only, I was on another podcast talking about femininity, and we were discussing how strength not only literally means like the strong, the aggression, but I think with that feminine energy of caregiving, nurturing, vulnerability, intuition, it
Mhm.
finds strength as well. It's really about surrendering. I mean,
Yes, letting go. I'm a huge supporter of that, and learning about how other people in their journeys, when they let go and allow and surrender, it's magical things and miracles can happen for you.
yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So, um, there are a bit of a different perspective here, just
Okay.
for keeping it more open for listeners who may not feel the same. Some people might say that spirituality it can lead to bypassing or avoiding real medical treatment. So how do you address that tension between spiritual practices and then the medical science backed healthcare, especially in your own journey?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm a true believer that, like people science is very fact based. Medicine is out there to help us, but sometimes, you know, I really believe it's a matter of trusting in spirituality to help you get through any medical challenges that you're going through. But from my perspective, it's playing both ends to the middle, which means, be responsible and seek out medical care. But at the same time, have a stronger faith in what spirituality can do for you because there's countless cases around the world where people were diagnosed with terminal illnesses, where they're only given a little bit of time left to live on this earth because of maybe having cancer or some other life-threatening disease. um, but there's cases where these people have, they've been diagnosed, but spiritually, they were strong in mind, body, spirit to the point where they would not accept that this diagnosis would defeat them and, um, you know, make them come to their deathbed. They had a faith in a higher power and believed and trusted that they would overcome um, their health scare or diagnosis. So there's countless cases like that are miraculous around the world, and I think about that, um, and it can definitely happen. I people that could be a bit suspicious of spirituality. They haven't yet cultivated or discovered their faith or spirituality. I encourage you to research and read up and listen to stories around the world of people who have, you know, battled with really severe illness and have overcame it through their faith in a higher power. Um, and seeing those examples will make you a believer and know that you can, battle through anything that you go through in your life.
Definitely. And I think this is such an important conversation because sometimes you know um, it can be really misleading, and it is also important to understand how spirituality doesn't have to mean rejecting science, but rather complementing it.
Yes, exactly. In science, you can appreciate both at the same time. So I'm glad you mentioned that because there are so many gifts science has brought to our world and to people to help us thrive in our daily lives. Um, and, spirituality really is a nice complement to doing a bit of both and um, helping us thrive and cope in this life. Um, so that's a very good point that you made there.
Great, great, Tara. So before we wrap up, for someone listening today to both of us talking, and they are in the middle of a health struggle, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, or maybe their loved ones are suffering, what's one gentle first step they could take to bring spirituality into their healing journey?
Yes. What I advise is, the answer to every problem and everything that we go through is love. So if you or someone you love is going through something, I advise you to channel as much love to them and to yourself as possible. And make up an affirmation or a prayer that you can say in a loop in your head while you're going through this difficult time. Um, what worked for me is I said a prayer where you can start the prayer off by saying, I pray for a miracle of health and healing. make it very broad and say that on a loop, um, pretty much all throughout the day when especially when things get very difficult and tough for you. Um, it's never been known to fail me, and I've used it recently when I was dealing with the pain, and what happens is that really shifts, um, something happens where the pain becomes less and it feels like something you're able to handle, and you know that what you're dealing with in this challenging time is just temporary, and you'll see yourself on the other side. So there's that tool, and also visualizing your loved one or yourself being on the other end of that obstacle and seeing yourself as healthy, well, and healed. Doing visual 5-minute visualizations every day, seeing you or your loved one as healthy is a very valuable tool, and it works, and it'll help you manifest that healing and that health.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Tara, if our listeners would like to connect with you and get a hold of your book as well, what's the best way to do that?
Yes. So I have a website. It is at www.terrasweetawakening.com. And you'll see information about my book and what I do to help others. I'm also a healing journey mentor, where I formulate plans and resources based on people's needs and their areas of transformation they need help with. So I thrive by helping others. And right now I'm in process of working on getting my book finally edited, and hopefully it will be published by the fall or as early as next year. So my website will have the updated details as to how you can get that book, but it'll most likely be available on Amazon. And it's called Life Hacks for Healing and Harmony. And there's specific different chapters in there that deal with the universal themes about what we all deal with as humans, whether that be grief, anxiety, self image struggles, ego, as well as, parent child relationships and much more. It's something that could help everyone through every season of obstacles in whatever phase of your life that you're in. Um, so yes, I look forward to connecting with you. Even if you just want to send me a message, I'm on Instagram at Tara Mae Temple. I'm also on Facebook at Tara Mae Temple. And you can contact me through the contact form on my website. I'll be happy to speak with you if you have any questions.
Lovely, lovely, Tara, and all the best wishes for your book.
Oh, thank you so much.
So happy.
And
So it is also lovely to see, in so many ways, we share our journeys, we share our learnings and experiences for all the people out there to seek some wisdom, some inspiration, some silver lining, some hope from our journey. So I think that exactly makes us feel connected with each other. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, warmth, and powerful insights with us today. I'm very sure
oh,
listeners walking away not just inspired, but
oh. It was such a pleasure to be here, and I love the questions that you asked because I know your message and my message will help so many people, and I really hope that nobody hesitates to get in touch because I do have resources to help with a lot of different things, and it was such a pleasure to be here and speak with you. I enjoyed having our conversation, Sana.
lovely, lovely. Thank you, Tara. And I'll make sure to have all the links in the show notes for our listeners. And you know what, listeners, what I really appreciate today from this conversation is how spirituality and science don't have to be at odds. I mean, they can actually work together to deepen our healing and understanding. Just like the cosmos itself, it is vast, it is mysterious, it can be sometimes scary, but governed by both unseen forces and then the universal laws. And it reminds us that faith, evidence, intuition, and inquiry, it all belong in the same universe. So, to everyone tuning in today, I encourage all of you to connect with Kara and also uh, stay connected with her for her upcoming book. Just refer to the show notes along with this episode. And until next time on Cosmic Confluence, I'm your host, Sana, reminding you that your healing, your journey, and your inner wisdom are sacred. Thank you.